PS, it finally happened. People have been asking for it. Tree PS is here.
Tree PS.
Tree. It's Perna. It's white guy.
I thought it was ChatGPT. I thought that was the nickname.
Oh,
they made up.
that's too good. Oh, and here's 5.
Yep.
5. Well,
is your internet okay?
It's ruining
Adam?
the partying as always.
What's happening? We keep losing Adam.
Adam, can you hear me?
Well,
I mean,
Adam, can you see me?
Adam's having technical issues. And,
oh wait, Scooter is here.
Scooter is
I
here.
Scooter was
Wait.
going
Wow.
to the Magic game.
Yo,
we don't even know what's happening.
Just wanted to say, hey guys, Magic in 6, and for my official prediction, the Dallas Cowboys will move back and select JPJ at center. Book it, lock it in. That's the goal. Have a great clickbait. Go Magic.
Ooh.
Cowboys are poop.
Jackson Powers Johnson.
Didn't you like my draft? Eric all in. Come on now. It was good enough.
Do you think saying Powers Johnson violates Scooter's no swearing policy? I don't even think you can have that man as a center.
It depends.
It might. Oh, yeah, I don't think it's... Well, I mean, it depends because they have drafted guys that they haven't even had for visits or have even talked to. So it's different every single year. I wouldn't say.
That's what we get to find out, right? Like, which one of our teams have made it obvious the guys they're selecting, and which teams haven't leaked anything, and all the info we're getting is just conjecture.
Hey, Perna.
Lord Taco. Do you know how many tacos I could buy with that?
100 tacos, $100, like the Simpsons, baby.
Oh,
5 just left again.
5, I think, is currently winning the longest of not speaking.
Yeah.
Also, I thought we had a guest. We're just...
I thought we did have a guest. I'm trying to figure out what's going on.
We're really prepared.
Adam
today.
said he might come in. He might not. He doesn't know.
He might? I thought he said he had it confirmed this morning.
Well, before you came into the show, Tree, Adam said he may or may not be here. Adam's having technical difficulties. We didn't know if Scooter was coming. I don't even know why we're doing a show, but we are here, baby, for your pre-draft.
Oh, someone else got a hundo.
It ain't me. And I'm happy with
Spencer
that.
Rattler's a Denver Bronco.
You know what I'm going to be quite frank. All I'm going to say is this. I know you people are worried about the OnlyFans punishment. I ain't doing that until you two finish your punishments. You have a backlog for about 3 years.
I only got 2. I got the muffins and I got the apron and a whole 9 yards. Yeah, I know what I got. Perna has like 18 and half of them are for Taylor Swift.
They're all Taylor Swift.
Yeah, they're like all Taylor Swift.
You'll just package them all in one thing.
I have to make it as a Taylor Swift backup dancer at this point. I'm watching it this week. It is going to happen this week. I was telling the Patreon hangout last night that this is probably the worst punishment you guys have given me because it's the concert's so long. Like it's such a big commitment to start watching. And every time I'm like, okay, I'm going to do it tonight. I just can't. Because it's my window of free time, and to sacrifice it, this is a good punishment because, and it's not even that bad of a thing to watch, but it's like the time commitment is really messing with me.
It's like 3.5 hours.
Yeah, I'm gonna break it up in 2 nights, but still,
it's gonna be a 2-night event in the Perna household. Did Jess already watch it?
No, I got the dress. We've been sick, and she definitely wants to watch it with me, and she wants to get some footage, so. It's been a process, guys.
Jess Brain? Hashtag Jess Brain.
Yeah.
Trust the process.
She wants to embarrass me. So.
Hell yeah. Let's go. I think it's Drake May. I think it's got to be Drake May.
I mean,
at 3 at this point, I'm pretty sure it's a lock. I mean, there's talks about the Giants wanting to. Apparently, the Rams are calling top 10 teams. You have the 49ers who are calling and saying, hey, Brandon Ayuk, this is the time. I'm so effing excited for just madness, just chaos.
Honestly, what I'm hoping for, the Giants pick J.J. McCarthy, and he seethes. I would love that so much. I am manifesting that. I don't even have a real problem with J.J. McCarthy. I think he's drumming up way too high, but like his floor is nice. But still, J.J. McCarthy, oh Lord, the salt will be real.
I hope that the Broncos take J.J. McCarthy. They jumped the Giants, and we learned that the Giants wanted J.J. McCarthy, and they were this close to getting him, and he turns out to be awesome. And then I can rub that in Adam's face every week.
So the inverse Daniel Jones. That's what you're saying?
Yeah, exactly.
What if
they're this close?
The Giants, because they're like, hey, if they took Zach Wilson, they trade Daniel Jones to the Broncos.
If I offered you Zach, a round 3 pick plus eating Russell's,
should have taken the deal.
Yeah.
I'm thinking you go for the entire 2021 draft class. You have Zach Wilson already. Mm-hmm. You go get Mac Jones from Jacksonville, Trey Lance from Dallas, and when Justin Fields is a free agent, you wanted Justin Fields in 2021. You can go get him in free agents.
Honestly, if we just rotated those guys every week, I would be excited.
Hell yeah.
Oh, but by the way, guys, I did want to mention we do have a very special guest in the meantime. He just came into the green room. Former NFL first-round pick, New York Giants, straight from the couch, Justin Pugh.
Oh, look at the boat.
What's going on, guys?
Oh,
man, he's making us look so dumb with that nice suit.
I'm under dress.
Let me see. Let's see if we can do this now. All right, there we go. We're a little better.
There it is.
Oh, heck yeah.
Justin, thanks for coming on. Appreciate you.
Absolutely.
I'm at a gala right now for good cause, but I had to. An even better cause is my New York Giants, so I had to come sneak into a conference room. So if anyone pops in, I apologize.
No, you good.
It's all good,
you
brother.
good.
It's all good.
Appreciate you taking the time.
What would you be most excited to see the Giants do at 6?
Well, I just put a tweet out because one of the reporters said the 49ers are trying to trade up. And they're talking to a team with a top 10 pick about trading either Ayuk or Debo.
Yep.
So my prediction, I caught a lot of slack for it, but boy, would it feel good if it came through. I think they stay put at 6 and take Neighbors. That's my opinion. But I still think my idea is the best idea.
That's fair. I mean, the Giants, they could. There's a litany of players that they could draft right now. Would Neighbors is that like your number one guy? Like if you'd be like, yeah, like I'm thrilled.
I think adding a receiver to the mix, continuing to build the team. You have Daniel Jones next year. People are hating on my guy Daniel Jones. Like I get last year with injuries and things like that. I think you continue to build the talent around the quarterback position. You see what Daniel does this year. This is obviously a big year for him, and then you make a decision from there. I truly believe in. If I was ever going to build a team, I'm building through the defensive line. That's why I like adding pieces. We've already added Brian Burns to the mix. I think the Giants are set up to have a strong team and continue to build. This isn't a 1-year deal. You got to build for the future.
Sure.
I'm looking at this as building out a 5-year plan, and that's where the ownership and the general manager get together and create that plan.
Absolutely, and
it's
it's
very level-headed take from a Giant perspective. We don't really get
level-headed.
Well,
can y'all hear me?
Yes,
we can't hear you, sir.
Giants fans.
So I'm the resident Giants fan, Justin. Thanks for coming on. And you look sharp, by the way. I'm very jealous. What do you think? What kind of pick at 6 would cause you to melt down? Would cause you to just lose your mind in a way that was very famously done in 2018 by a lot of Giants fans?
If we go offensive line, I wouldn't be happy. Not because it means I won't be there. It just means I think we have a good plan in place for the offensive line. There's some other positions where I think there's need, and to go O-line at 6 would get me a little angry. Obviously I'd be supportive of the pick no matter what, but I think there's other places where we can really maximize the value for the team.
Really, you wouldn't like Joe Alt there at 6?
Where I am.
I don't know. It's the thing is like Evan Neal's development is it seems a little stunted when you look at him right now versus, I mean, you probably have a much better opinion than me, but it seems like he's not progressing the way that you think he would in the first 2 years. And maybe we're just looking at a backup plan.
Yeah, well, backup plan on the roster. Jermaine Illuminor has been a starting right tackle for the last few years. So I think there's a lot of position flexibility on the Giants offensive line. They paid John Runyon Jr., who's going to be a starter for you. There's a position at left guard where they got to find somebody. So I think there's a lot of good momentum on that Giants offensive line. The way you help the offensive line be better and take pressure off them is to have the best defensive line in football. And that's how the Giants have always won. You look at the teams that have won recently, the Rams built through Aaron Donald, the Eagles built through their D-line. So when you look at the best teams, they're not always loading up on offensive linemen. If you can just pass protect that offensive line, you're going to be all right. We were winning games last year with our defense. Our offensive line wasn't winning us games. Let's keep building through that avenue, and we started that with Burns. This is why I would love to see us, trade, get Ayuk, play him at receiver, top 15 receiver, draft Jerzon Newton, defensive tackle out of Illinois. He's going to play that 3-tech that Leonard Williams just vacated. And at that point, you win games on Mondays because teams and offensive lines are going to be scared to come and play the Giants. And that's just my general philosophy on O-line building. But I've been wrong before. I'm sure I'll get a lot of flack.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. We predicting the future, it doesn't matter how much knowledge you have. It's going to sometimes go wrong. It doesn't really matter. Now, I have to ask you point blank, if the phone rings and it's Joe Shane, are you picking up? Are you running it back?
100% I am. There's only one team.
Yeah.
That's the New York Giants. I'm in New York right now at an event. So tell Joe to call me. This is how we got our first deal done. I was in a conference room just like this, and we negotiated my last deal, so we can do it again.
Oh yeah.
I've got a question for you. You recently started a YouTube channel, right? Or starting to focus on it. What inspired you to start producing content in this space?
It allows me to network. When you get on social media, any channel, whether that's Twitter, whether that's podcasting, YouTube, Instagram, it allows you the ability to network. I'm flying next to that NFL shield, and I'm flying next to that New York Giants logo. It allows me to meet interesting, amazing people. So I started a company called Athlete Podcast Network, where we're basically going to become almost like a brand incubator for athletes. We're going to help them find that purpose, find what they want to do post-career. I also want to get involved in helping educate athletes. There's a stat out there that says 78% of NFL guys go broke. I think that's a little. What is broke? Is 78 high? What if it's just 50%, right? 50% of NFL guys go broke. That's too high for me. I'm a finance major. So like my mission post-career will be helping solve that problem. And I think through building network and having the right people in your network is super helpful for that. And that's why I'm so involved on social media. I want to meet more people. I want to be able to give back to the guys in the game. And that's something that I'm starting here tonight. I'm shaking hands and I'm shaking hands. Sorry, one of the guys just walked by. But it's part of my journey. So it's not just Giants players I want to help. There's guys in Green Bay that I want to help. Denver. I mean, you look across the league, we all need the help. So
I'm in Denver, and I know nothing about finance, so I might be
yeah, you can be talked into a lot of stuff. Justin, so you were a first-round pick. Could you take us through that experience? What was that like? What are the nerves like? What's that day kind of like for you as a player? And what and take us through the conclusion when it's when you're finally picked and that sort of experience.
Yeah, I wasn't invited to the draft, so I was walking by Radio City Music Hall the other day, and I flipped them the bird a little bit, like, hey. But it was the best thing ever. I was home with my family, sitting on the couch. Honestly, you can go to YouTube and you can see all my friends like dogpiled on top of me after. Even though they were Eagles fans, they still cheered for me when the Giants called my name. And it was the most surreal experience. I still get goosebumps. To get drafted to a place like New York and play for the Giants I didn't know it was a dream come true, but it was the best thing that's ever happened to me, and I'm grateful for it. The reason I came back to the Giants this last year is I truly am a fan of the team, and I didn't want to just sign for 1 year or 1 day and retire a Giant. I truly wanted to come back and help set up a foundation, and hopefully tonight we continue to grow on that.
Yeah, dude, you came in and kicked some ass. Oh, here it is. Let's take it through.
You'll see my one buddy. He's pissed on the left that the Eagle
ball was pretty crazy on my friend. Dog piled on me, so I'm lucky I didn't get hurt. But it was something I'll never forget.
Now, was that kind of a surprise? I think you went 13th overall. Were you expecting to go that high, or were you just kind of going with the flow?
As soon as there was a run on offensive linemen, so you'll see tonight, if some O-linemen go early in the draft, now all of a sudden they're going to start going. There wasn't a quarterback in that draft that was kind of driving that market. And as soon as we got to 13 or 12, I was 19th overall. And I think DJ Fluker was drafted like 12th overall. Mm-hmm. And I knew I was the next guy up. I knew I was going to be the next offensive lineman taken. I thought it was going to be Dallas at 18. They traded the pick and took Travis Frederick later. Great pick. And I ended up going next to the Giants. I thought it was going to be 20, and I was going to go to the Bears. I didn't think the Giants were going to sneak in there. So I thought it was either 18 or 20, and it ended up being 19. And it worked out well for me.
Now, were you a fan of the Giants? Like, did that beforehand, or did you fall in love just because they picked you? Or
Well, yeah, they picked me and changed my life. So I grew up an Eagles fan, grew up in Philadelphia. But then when you get to New York City and you feel that energy, sorry to my other fan groups out there, you know, the NFL is amazing. But when I got to New York, I was built to be in New York, man. I was built for this city, and I love being here and being a part of the organization. I'm truly a fan. So when you see my opinions in my tweets, it's just like everyone else out there. I don't have any insight. I just have years of experience of what I would do. So it's kind of how it's all shaken out the last few months.
If you were to change, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
If you were to talk to yourself as a rookie getting that phone call, what would you tell yourself that you know now back then?
To go find the veterans in the locker room and just follow them around. Sit at the lunch table with them. Pick their brain on what they're doing, to be great, how they're taking care of their body, the nutrition, where they're living, how they're acting. Meet their families. Like the one thing that I regret not doing earlier is like mandatory O-line dinners every Thursday. My first 5 years in New York, we never did it. I was young, I didn't realize it. But once I got to Arizona, we had a good veteran group. DJ Humphreys, AQ Shipley, Kelvin Beachum, Rodney Hudson, like some really, really good guys. And we made it mandatory. Every Thursday we were eating dinner and we were breaking bread together, because if you know the guys you play with, you love the guys you play with, you're going to play harder for them. You're going to do more for them. And that's something that I would recommend everyone to do. Love the guys you play with, because those are the teams that win the 3-point games, win the close games. And it's not about who's more talented at that point. It's who wants it more, who wants it more collectively. So that's my old man piece of advice to the young guys getting drafted.
Old man advice. You're like 15 years younger than me.
3 years younger than me.
God, we age like dogs in the NFL. 1 year playing in the NFL is like 4 or 5 years off your life. So I'm a little bit older for that reason.
Do you have anything lingering? Like, I mean, I know it's probably not a pleasant subject, but every ex-player that I've ever met has always had something that is going to be with them for the rest of their life. Are you good there?
I tore my ACL. There's some days when it's rainy out and gets a little cranky, but overall I feel great. I think Tom Brady has kind of showed the fountain of youth is like what you put in your body. Guys used to smoke cigarettes and drink beer during halftime. Now we're like worried about the water we drink and the amount of carbs, and we waste shit out. Or sorry, I don't know if I can curse.
No, you can curse. Fuck yeah, you can.
But now it's gotten a lot better. So I feel great. I feel better now than when I was, came into the league. I take care of my body. I invest in it. And that's something that I think is good. Some people look at me and they're like, "Oh, you're 33. You look, a little bit younger." So I guess that's a testament to taking care of the body.
The last question before we let you go and hobnob with everyone, unless you guys have more questions. What do you think happens in these first 3 picks? Like, I think this is the most compelling draft we've had in a long time. With the chess pieces that are going to go 1 through 3, you got a lot of desperate teams that are looking for certain pieces. How do you think the first 3 is going to go? And then secondary to that, which team do you think makes a trade first?
Yeah, I think you go 1, 2, 3 quarterback. It's going to go Caleb Williams. I think that's all but sealed. Jaden Daniels, even though he wasn't a little happy, the whole thing with the agent, that was a little crazy. But I know what Cliff likes to run in Washington. I think Jaden fits in perfectly there. I think you have New England at 3. I think they go quarterback as well. They'll go Drake May. And then you start getting into the murky waters. Who do you want next? Is Minnesota going to try to get in there? I think Arizona with Kyler Murray. I love Marvin Harrison at that pick. I think he'd be a great addition to the Cardinals. They need a lot more pieces. They got to build that D-line. I think 4 is the first place we see a trade. It's probably Minnesota or New York coming up. If New York wants a quarterback, that's where you're getting them. And I think the Vikings are high on McCarthy. So I think that's the first place we see a trade. And Monty, if you guys saw that Adam Schefter video of him wheeling and dealing, that guy loves making trades. So I think the Cardinals at 4 are the first trade contender.
Wow. It's going to be truly interesting. Now, one other thing is, like, would you be happy if the Giants go back and get Penix? That's another rumor that they're talking about, is that is Penix going to be worth it late first, or even I mean, he might even go second round. It's possible.
I'll say this. I think Penix, whoever he goes, I think Penix is the first quarterback of this class to win a Super Bowl.
Ooh.
And I don't just think that it's because he's a talented player, because he is. Like, what's separating all these guys is like the situation they're going to get put in. Penix is going to go later in the first round to a good team. He reminds me of some of those quarterbacks, like the Russell Wilsons, the Jalen Hurts, that had left those colleges, transferred, went somewhere else, were overlooked, but was just a winner. You can't coach winning. You can't coach like that, whatever that is, that X factor. And I haven't watched any Penix films, so like, don't hold me. Like, you can hold me, but I just have a gut feeling that like he's a quarterback I want leading my team to win a Super Bowl. You put him on a good team in a good situation. That's why I think if the Giants want to go quarterback, he could be a guy you draft, sit for a year, let him learn, and then you build a team around him and see what Daniel Jones can do. That's where I think you take the risk. I think he has just as much upside as any of these guys.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Love it.
All right, guys, I got to run. I appreciate it.
Justin.
Thanks for coming.
Hey, plug whatever you want before you go. Where can we follow you on socials?
Hey, well, right now, go sign up. I'm giving away a free Love Sack couch. I promise Giants NFL fans, I'm going to make NFL Twitter a nicer place. What's a better way to like not be as grumpy when your team drafts someone you don't want than sitting on a Love Sack couch? So go apply. I got a link in my bio on Twitter, on Instagram. We're giving away an $8,000 Love Sack. So do that. Follow some of the accounts we're doing. Support the Athlete Podcast Network, and I will see you guys soon.
Thanks, Justin, for
Justin.
coming on.
Thank you, brother.
Take care.
Incidentally, Love Sack is my prison nickname.
Whoa.
So
That's a
right,
little TMI, buddy.
There's a question. Who's the first team that makes that reach?
Ooh, I mean, it's probably going to be quarterback at that rate. Because,
I mean,
I feel like it's going to be someone like a J.J. McCarthy.
There's
a lot of smoke about him going 4, 5, or 6.
Yeah. Good.
Would
you guys say Bo Nix at 12 is a reach like that?
Yeah, I'd say so. I feel like if he goes like early 20s, that might not be as much of a reach. But I feel like at 12, I mean, you're taking that J.P. Lossman or that sort of like or that I'm trying to think of his name. Paxton Lynch. It'd be like that kind of thing.
What happened there,
I don't
Brandon,
think
with
that's
Paxton
happening.
Lynch? How did the dominoes fall, Brandon, with Paxton Lynch? What did that result in? There was like a bunch of sliding doors that happened.
Yeah.
There.
No, I got tagged in that tweet today, and we did a whole video about it.
Hell yeah.
Was it
Congrats.
Ari? Ari posted
really
about Paxton Lynch. And here, I'm going to bring it up real quick because it is so painful when you realize what John Elway's aggressiveness for that particular situation did to the Broncos for the next several years. All right, here we go.
Bench dropping 50.
There you go.
Oh my God.
Let's go.
Bench.
Not to me. Thank God.
All right. So
That's got to be Brandon, right?
yeah, bench. Thank you so much. Which rookie's the best fit for Denver? I think everybody believes it's Bo Nix. I would be a little more excited about Michael Penix, but I don't know. We'll say Nix.
Oh, dude. Imagine if the Chiefs had drafted Paxton Lynch, they wouldn't have gone for Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah. So this is what happened. The Chiefs wanted Lynch. All right. But they didn't have the draft ammo to move up to get him because they got penalized for tampering with Jeremy Maclin. So they had been docked a draft pick. Had they not tampered, they probably would have been able to outbid the Broncos and get Paxton Lynch. And instead, they traded back from spot 28. And guess who they ended up taking? Chris Jones. So the Broncos get Paxton Lynch. The Chiefs wait and get Patrick Mahomes. They also got Chris Jones because of that trade. We outbid the Cowboys, so we took Paxton Lynch when the other guy the Broncos would have taken was Dak Prescott.
Oh.
So, it was between Dak and Paxton Lynch for the Broncos in that draft. And, that's a great what if. A Chiefs fan actually wrote like a good chunk of that script and sent it to Will and I, and then we fucked around with it and made a whole video about it. So I don't even think I would have been aware of that situation because I didn't know about it. But apparently Paxton Lynch's agent confirmed it a day or two later that they were in.
Went down.
So anyway, I think
That's
about that a lot.
dynasty going.
I think tonight is going to be amazing. It's a lot of things are going to happen. There's going to be a lot of drama. You know, I don't know how much in your mock drafts you have put trades or baked trades in. I think there's going to be a lot of trades. I think there's going to be an early trade. Like you're going to see it like announced before even the pick comes, right? I mean, usually they announce it right at the pick that this has occurred so that none of the other GMs can react. But I think those deals they're probably already done, you know, and we're just going to find out tonight. Excuse me.
Not this.
I'm surprised that the Vikings haven't executed their trade if they were indeed trying to move up for JJ McCarthy, because once they acquired that other first round pick, that's kind of the assumption. But maybe that second first round pick is where they're waiting to take a quarterback. Maybe they're not as high on JJ McCarthy like as we thought, but I think they kind of hold some cards there.
I mean, McCarthy would kind of fit in Minnesota, right? Like,
sure,
he definitely
they need a quarterback.
Yeah, he's a reflection of the fan base. I mean, if Kirk Cousins was the whitest, most Minnesota quarterback on earth, then JJ McCarthy kind of fits that mold, right after him. You know, just saying.
I mean, as I said, I feel like he at least has a high floor, so he's not going to have the risk of flopping. But I feel like he was more of a game manager in college, like especially with the guys around him too, which might not be a bad thing, but at the same time, it's what do I know?
You don't know. I mean, they kind of said that about Stroud, right? They kind of said that about Herbert. Like no one was high on either of those guys coming out, but a lot of people were high on Justin Fields. They're like, this guy is the real deal.
I really wasn't.
And there's another quarterback, Zach Wilson, who is now a Bronco
in the Senior Bowl.
Yeah,
I mean, hey, you got your Wilson back. He's going to be a number 3, and you can resell those Broncos jerseys.
I was looking at it, and it's like roughly there's like I think 10 NFL quarterbacks who were starters last season who are not taken in the first round. So, you know, there are guys to be found. And obviously last year's a good example because Bryce Young flip-flopped with CJ Stroud. It didn't work out, but I think it's a fair question to ask, like, how good is CJ Stroud with that Panthers roster? You know, and it's not like we thought the Texans had a great roster. He definitely elevated guys like Nico Collins, and Tank Dell turned out to be a great pick for him. But there's so many what ifs, and I think that's what's fun about the lead up to the draft. But dear God, I'm just so excited to know what is happening in 3 hours.
Great. Yeah, I know. In 2.5 hours. Apparently, we've got people out there.
Yeah, people at the draft, and apparently it's crazy out there.
Broncos, Idaho, Seahawks. South Idaho is Broncos.
Yes.
Boise. Boise. It's all Broncos when you really think about it.
It kind of goes back to what Justin said, you know, who's going to be brought into the best situation, right? Like these first 3 teams that are coming, they're completely rebuilding. They're just throwing whoever gets in there to the wolves. And they're all impatient. Like there's no way that Washington drafts Jaden Daniels and just patiently sits and has him work behind. Who's he going to sit behind? Right? He's going to be thrown out there week 1. And, you know, you can argue with what the Packers have done. You know, they had an asset just sit on their bench for 4 years, but look at the results. Look at the results.
Who's the Commanders quarterback right now?
It's Jacoby Brissett.
No, it's Mariota.
It's Mariota, right?
Marcus Mariota, right? So that's not a competition, really.
Yeah.
Maybe Mariota's named the starter on week 1, and then the fans just, you know, start yelling for Jaden Daniels, and the next thing you know, he's out there by week 3. He might even be the week 1 starter. It's very possible.
Mariota, the number 2 overall pick, right?
Yeah, I would be personally shocked if the Commanders take, say, May instead of Daniels, I would be completely shocked. I think it's a known thing that Daniels is going number 2, right?
Mm-hmm. I mean, it'd be more of a shock if Caleb
yeah.
Williams doesn't go number 1. Like they changed their mind and decide to go Spencer Rattler or the guy Tom wants.
At number 1. Yes.
Hey, it's Tyson Bagent season.
It is. So when you said that, Brandon, that 10 quarterbacks last year didn't come in the first round, was that just that started a game, or were
I think like the main dudes. It's tricky because there were guys in there like like Desmond Ridder, and he's not going to be a starter this year. But like some of the big ones, you've got Dak, you've got Kirk Cousins, Russell Wilson,
Tommy
Brock
DeVito.
Purdy, of course, Jalen Hurts, and those are all like playoff dude. Well, not Russ with the Broncos, obviously, but like those other guys, they're all nice.
Desmond Ridder.
Yeah.
God.
Barry Sanders. Barry Sanders announcing a pick tomorrow.
Oh wow.
So
is Sketch, by the way. Brother.
I purposely didn't ask Justin Pugh if he thought if Michael Penix landed with the Broncos, if he still felt that was a good team he would be going to. I didn't want to know what he thought.
I have to ask you guys, do you know who Sketch is?
I've seen him on Twitter.
I've heard of him. I don't know any of
his he just came out of I've never seen his stuff, and now he's just like everywhere. It's like I don't pay attention to streamers, but it's like, who is Jinxie? It's like these guys come out of nowhere, and it's like nice. And I respect it.
Sketch like completely went viral like super quick, and like now everyone knows who he is.
Maybe?
It's like the cool thing. It's like when Eminem first came out. Like everyone's like, you don't know who Eminem is? Now you got to know who Sketch is.
He's a streamer?
He's a Twitch streamer, and he's
corner.
He's pretty like interesting. He's not what you would expect in turn. Like if you go watch his content, you'd be like, huh? This guy's huge now. But yeah, special teams, special plays, special players.
Perna doesn't get a quarterback. It might be Perna.
Maybe someday Perna will be the guy everyone's like, have you heard of Brandon Perna?
I mean, at that time, maybe come
my videos and be like, huh? This guy?
Basically the Raiders stadium.
This guy.
You guys have you heard of urinating tree? He fucking sucks.
We don't need one. No, we don't need a wide receiver in the first. No.
We have a wide receiver at home.
We got wide receivers.
All right. We said we'd do a quick show. We somehow have almost 10,000 people here, but
hey, nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. Let's go around the room and just say, what are you most excited for tonight? And then we'll tell everyone where they can watch our reactions. And then we'll go ahead and wrap it up. And then we will have a punishment auction as well. We have to think of a good one for this.
Kinky.
It might have to be redeemed tonight on one of our streams.
Thank you, Elliot. Please do.
Brandon, what are you most excited for tonight?
Well, we learned Roger Goodell had back surgery recently, so no players are allowed to jump on him this year. I do look forward to, Goodell getting booed and then players being excited and nearly crushing him. That's not going to happen. But for me, it's just like, if the Broncos don't take a quarterback tonight, I am going to be so let down. It's just, there's all these scenarios. And if there's a guy they like, just take him. I don't care about the trade back scenario. If you like a guy, like if they really like Bo Nix, just take him at 12. Because if you move back and sure, maybe you grab an extra second. If somebody else decides they like him too, and it's the rumor now is the Rams like him, like if somebody snakes him, then that's the dumbest thing you can do. So I want a quarterback at 12.
You just want a quarterback.
Yeah, but I want it at 12. I don't want to give up the farm to move up and grab J.J. McCarthy. I'll roll with Bo Nix or Penix at 12. That's what I'm excited about. And just to see if 6 quarterbacks can go in the first round. It's always sexy when you get that many going. I'm not saying it's going to work, but if 6 go, I think it'll do all of us favors for our videos over the next 48 hours.
6 go. It pushes everybody down. So I'm good with that.
Yeah,
also,
I'm cool with that.
I hope Tony Khan shows up multiple times in a neck brace.
This is crazy because 2021 and 2022 were awful drafts. Awful drafts. for quarterbacks. And this is,
Plan on eating
And
these
the
were
thing
guys
is, there were
that-
a lot of hype in
Yeah.
2021 for those quarterbacks.
Yeah, it'll
Yeah.
probably be the same with this one, right?
Yeah, for
A lot of
What
hype.
are we planning on eating? Ooh, interesting question. We're going to be doing a lot of drinking. I know that.
Yeah, I'm making homemade Moscow mules tonight.
Nice.
Ooh, very nice.
You could definitely get traded today. There's been a
could.
lot
Yeah.
more smoke
There's
there.
a lot of heat, like Steelers maybe in on
of
him. There
smoke.
may be a few other teams on him. Pipe dream for me is Justin Jefferson, but ideally it'll probably either be Brandon Ayuk or, as Brandon was mentioning in the green room, Cortland Sutton, maybe for a third round compensatory or fourth round pick.
Johnny Wilson.
Tom, what are you most excited for tonight?
I'm kind of just excited that I'm like pretty damn happy with the team right now. Like obviously there's some holes and things like that, but at 25, I'm kind of just letting it rock. Now, of course, they're like the Lions going to swoop in and steal one of our guys or something like that, probably because it's tradition at this point. But there's only like 2 guys that I'm like super high on, probably at 25, maybe 3. But yeah, I'm kind of just excited to see the trade chaos. That's what I'm looking forward to.
Tree.
The trade
What are you
off.
excited about?
I mean, honestly, I'm looking forward to hopefully seeing your salt when they draft JJ McCarthy tonight, and it is going to be wonderful. And I know you are very happy about them potentially drafting JJ McCarthy. They're not taking Joe Alt, dude. I mean, you're not moving Evan Neal. You don't have a place for him.
Yeah, you
I
heard
think
it from Justin Pugh.
I mean, it makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, the thing too, it's like it would either be like Neighbors, Adunze, or JJ McCarthy.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be JJ McCarthy, dude.
Yeah,
I think
embrace it,
though,
brother.
like if the Giants are willing, to roll with Daniel Jones this year, the best thing they can do is give him a legit weapon.
it.
And I know they've missed, but I feel like O'Dunes and Neighbors, those are 2 guys that you're probably not going to miss on. And if Daniel Jones is good, if he is the guy we saw in 2022, like he needs one of those dudes.
Yeah, especially since you lost Saquon, right? Like
Yeah.
if they are, it all depends on philosophical thinking here. If John Mara really is like, hey, let's just throw down and see what we can do. We won 6 games with garbage. Daniel Jones wasn't even out there. We were a playoff team 2 years ago. Like we can run this back and make the playoffs. Or, I just don't see them in complete teardown mode. Like that would upset me if we are going to take McCarthy and just admit that it's time to tear this down. Like that is going to upset me. That is what is going to cause me to beat up this chair, unfortunately, and not just my ass sitting in it every day. Like punches will be thrown at this poor little chair back here because that's how things are going to be. Like that to me just signals, hey, we're going to suck for the next 3 years. Now, if they go out and get a Malik Neighbors or a Roman Adunze, like heck yeah. Justin Pugh talked me off the ledge about Joe Alt, which would be great. But yeah, it seems like we have depth there at offensive line. So what I'm actually more excited about, other than the Giants picking, is whatever theme that they're going to pick tonight to thread through all the picks. Remember that one year it was like whoever died in their family. This year, and then last year. Right. And then what was it? The other year it was Will Levis and the Mayo and his freaking coffee. Like that was the theme.
Him sitting in there for a good bit.
Right. I wonder what the theme this year is going to be. Is it going to be, whatever weird habit that Jaden Daniels has, whatever, or Michael Penix's name? They're just going to make phallic references all night. I don't know.
Be Caleb Williams' suit. He apparently is wearing something a little crazy.
He's wearing something a little crazy. Have we not seen it?
So
The suit's cool.
Mitchell, by the way, Mitchell would be amazing for Philadelphia. If Philadelphia could walk away with Mitchell,
That might be the guy they're trying to trade up with the Broncos to get.
I would love. Yeah, everybody should trade for Justin Jefferson. I agree.
Yeah,
at least
a first rounder,
especially the Steelers, and you should trade him for a 5th round pick.
I love that. Yep, I would love that. 100%.
I mean, I'll take that, man. I would love him on the Steelers. That is my pipe dream.
Oh, Aaron Jones.
I mean, there's a lot of options here, especially with guys like Nix and Penix who aren't going to go in those top 4. Like those could be nice concessions for teams that are looking for quarterback services. So we'll see. All right, where are we streaming? What time are y'all going on?
I'll be streaming at 7:30 p.m. Eastern, so a little less than 2 hours, and then of course the announcement at 7:45. Kickoff at 8. We gonna rock, baby. We gonna rock.
Ooh, nice.
Yep.
Big announcement, guys.
Yeah, very big announcement.
Will Keys and I will be live starting at, I don't know, like 5 or 10 minutes before the draft, and just waiting for that QB, that sweet, sweet QB to save all and fix all of our problems.
And it ain't happening, brother. You're getting Cooper DeJean. You are getting White Boy Summer. Let's go.
White Boy Summer.
Trade.
Well, him and I, we've been doing this for a number of years, so we're going on the dumpster fire. We're doing it there. I got to pump out a video. I'm revisiting the 2019 NFL Draft, so I'll have that out in a few hours.
Hell yeah.
Whoa,
Yes.
nice.
Yeah, so we will be on the dumpster fire. I think this. How many years have we done this together?
We did this since 18, so we're looking at year number 6, I think.
Same. I went back today. I was like, how long have I been streaming?
Actually,
this?
wait, 7 years. 7 years.
7
Sure.
years, yeah.
Jesus.
I'm
I remember when you were like bitching about Daniel Jones and we had like 3 frames per second. And it was just you on
that
the
was
screen.
a weird draft.
That was great. And then
when,
my mom's dog was yelping the whole time and warning us about Daniel Jones. It was great.
And Tom, of course, has that signature moment when Jordan Love was drafted, which will be replayed in perpetuity from now until maybe when if he wins a title.
When
could
he does.
happen.
I think that's how it's going to be with you and Kadarius Toney. That was
that was the correct reaction. By the way,
but you were just doing it randomly.
1,000% right.
In hindsight, but it was still.
Can we do the countdown?
Satan.
I don't know.
Yeah, god damn it!
Talking about countdowns.
Okay.
Counting. What's
Oh yeah. Here we go, baby. It's finally draft night. 2019, 18, 17, 16, 15, 4. Everybody's waiting who their team is gonna go for. I don't know. I was trying to make it work. There's only so many things that you can rhyme with 4, and I feel like we've done this for a number of years. I've just run out of things to rhyme with. Draft.
I mean, you have been doing this for a while, so I mean,
It's been a while.
Whore is a good word.
Since we ever put on a good fucking show.
I got $7. Thank you.
I made 85. So Brandon, count.
Brandon, what do you got?
318.
202.14. Let's go, baby. Let's
Let's
go.
go. Let's go.
So another punishment for me to delay my OnlyFans. That's great.
Yeah. Tree, where's your OnlyFans? I need.
I ain't posting that. I post cringe all the time, Austin. Let's be real.
That is part of your punishment. All right. What do we need to add on to Brandon's punishment here? I think he should have to do something tonight.
I'm great.
I think on his stream he's got to very subtly say something like, or do something in his draft stream that only Clickbait fans would know that is part of his punishment.
I think he just wears the Kansas City belt the whole night.
No.
I would say create a shrine to Zach Wilson, your new Lord and Savior.
I'll give you this. Here's a good one. Even if the Broncos draft a quarterback tonight, actually maybe only if they draft a quarterback tonight, I've got to go purchase a Zach Wilson jersey on one of their new god-awful jersey uniforms.
Ooh. So one of your least favorite.
Yeah, because apparently Zach Wilson's going to take number 10, and that's Bo Nix's number. And there's a good chance, like if the Broncos draft a quarterback tonight, there's a good chance Wilson's not even on the roster. So that would be a fair punishment, in my opinion.
Zach Wilson cut. That would be big news. Now, what would be really funny? I know Zach Wilson jersey sounds great, but if you could get, those Jesus candles that they make, if you could get one, but it's Zach Wilson's face.
Do they have one of those?
They have them for a bunch of players and stuff.
Yeah, I'm sure you could get a Jesus candle for Zach Wilson. Yeah. Somehow you could find one, or you could just print the graphics and make your own Jesus candle.
Or a fake tattoo that says "My mom loves Zach Wilson."
Ooh.
A henna tattoo.
Fake tattoo, yeah, like a henna tattoo. My mom loves.
Yeah, can we get it on the back, like a little? Yes,
a
tramp stamp.
Gotta be
for Zach.
A tramp stamp for John Elway.
Well, I can't do a tramp stamp because I got a bunch of back hair there. It's not gonna. You're not gonna see it.
Well, you
Wax?
Brazilian wax that shit.
Yeah, a little.
Wax.
You got a little backscape. Have you seen that thing? It's like a little
Backscape.
shaver with a little stick on it. Yes. All right. We will see you all tonight. We are excited. We love you, and watch us all melt down
See you tonight,
at our
baby.
picks.
Oh yeah, dude. It
Let's
was like
go.
2022 all
Have
over
joy.
again.
It's the draft.
Have joy. I will have joy
It is
tonight.
the draft.
We